Hello students, this is Miss Dalton, and these notes today are over z-score. A z-score measures exactly how many standard deviations above or below the mean a data point is. Now here's the formula, so you will need to make sure this is copied down into your journal. You're going to take the data point, so whatever data you're trying to find the z-score of, and then you will subtract the mean and then divide it by the standard deviation. A positive z-score says that the data point is above average. So it would be over here on this side. You'll have a positive anywhere from 1, 2, 3, or above that. Negative z-score says the data point is below average, so obviously that would be on the left side of the graph. A z-score close to 0 says the data point is very close to average. A data point can be considered unusual if its z-score is above 3 or below -3. Because again, 99.7% of your data is going to fall between -3 and +3 standard deviations. So you really shouldn't have very much data that's above that. So let's look at a few examples. It says the books in the library are found to have an average length of 350 pages. So this is going to be considered your mean. You have a mean of 350. And it has a standard deviation of 100 pages. So your standard deviation is equal to 100. And it says, what is the z-score? So the z-score is what we're trying to find that corresponds to a book of length 80 pages. This is going to be your data point. So at 80 pages, what is the z-score? So we're going to take that data point of 80. We're going to subtract our mean of 350. And we're going to divide it by 100. 80 minus 350 is -270, and then we're going to divide that by 100. So that would be -2.7. So that's pretty low if you think about your curve, right? This would be like -1, this would be -2 standard deviations. So this one would be, almost to -3. All right, looking at this next one. The temperature is recorded at 60 airports in a region. The average temperature is 67 degrees. So remember, that is your mean. And it has a standard deviation of 5 degrees. What is the z-score for a temperature that is 68 degrees? So this is going to be our data point. So take your data point of 68, subtract your mean, 67, and divide it by 5. Well, 68 minus 67 is 1, and then if we divide that by 5, that's going to come out to be 0.20. So it's going to have a z-score of 0.20, which is pretty darn close to 0. All right, another example. The weight of chocolate bars from a particular chocolate factory has a mean of 8 ounces with a standard deviation of 0.1 ounces. What is the z-score corresponding to a weight of 8.17 ounces? So our data point that we're trying to find the z-score for is 8.17. We're going to subtract the mean of 8, and then we're going to divide it by 0.1. 8.17 minus 8 is 0.17, and then we're going to divide it by 0.1. And so that is equal to 1.7. All right, hopefully this makes sense to you. Just make sure you've got the z-score formula written down and go ahead and complete the z-score practice in Moodle.